Good morning and happy last Sunday of March already. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Eugene. My name is Heidi Gould. My pronouns are she, her, and I am your morning's worship associate. We gather in worship to find meaning and to live more deeply. Worship creates connections within, among, and beyond us, calling us to our better selves, calling us to live with wisdom and compassion. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your image of the holy, we're glad you are here. If today is your first time with us, we'd love to get to know you better. Right after the service, you're invited to join our welcome committee in the welcoming room, which is in the south entrance. And if you're online, the link to our visitor form is being dropped into chat now. You can also use your phone to access a copy of our order of service by scanning the QR codes that are scattered throughout the building. We also have a few large print paper copies that you can get from our ushers. There you will find names of authors, composers, and you'll find text to the choir anthems and resources used in our service. Now let's take a minute to greet our neighbors, especially those you haven't met yet. We light the chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, with words from Reverend Scott Taylor. We light this chalice for those who convinced us that it was safe to share our longings, for those who proved that not everyone will run from the weight of the pain we carry, for those who held us in our fear and helped us heal from our regret, for those whose humble apologies made us believe that we too could be forgiven, and for those whose tenderness helped us to see that we no longer need to hide. Our vulnerability frees us. It binds us. It makes holy the path we travel together. May this flame ever help us keep that in view. And now, let's say the words together of our mission, which affirm our shared purpose. Empowered by love, we transform ourselves and serve our world.
What a wonderful group of young people we have today. Good Sunday morning, everyone. My name is Jen Youngsun, and I use the pronouns she and her. I'm the minister here at this congregation. Welcome to all of you here in the sanctuary and to everybody on Zoom. Hi. I'm glad that you're joining us too. We gather this morning during a particularly holy time of year. The spring equinox, Ostara, brings the energy of greening, budding, peeping new life. Nowruz, the Persian New Year, reminds us of the ongoing struggles of Iranian women for their freedom. Muslims around the world began fasting during this month of Ramadan to commemorate the time when the Prophet received the Quran. And Christians have been observing Lent in preparation for Easter. All of these ancient celebrations are tied to the sun and to the moon, to the balance of light and dark, and the rising of life and death. Now, even if you don't observe any of these particular holy days, the turning of the wheel of the year offers each one of us a time to look inward, to make changes, to renew vows, and to mend relationships. This season of rebirth urges each one of us to emerge from the sleepiness of winter and reach out toward one another to say, I need you. You need me. You are important to me. Can we say that to each other? I need you. You need me. You are important to me. Come, let us be the beloved community we dream about, the multi-generational beloved community that we dream about. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning. My name is Steve Kuzma. I use the pronouns he and him, and I'm a member of your Board of Trustees. At this time, I invite all those who have signed the UUCE membership book in the past few months to come forward as I call your name. Don Bramley, who will be joining us on Zoom, Wendy Fuller, Catherine Smith, Jill Switzer, Ed Wolf, Pam Tinker, and Bruce Tinker. Their stories and photos will be in upcoming weekly newsletters, so please read those and make a special effort to get to know our newest members. Friends, some of you have taken part in our Inquirers class to learn more about our church and the Unitarian Universalist faith. Others of you transferred your membership from other UU churches. You came seeking deeper relationships. You came seeking a way to live out your values. Whatever brought you to this threshold, you have said yes to being an active member of this spiritual community. When you signed the membership book of this free church, you didn't sign on to a set of beliefs, creeds, or doctrine. Rather, you entered into a covenant that describes how we want to be in relationship with one another. Today will be the last time we recite this covenant. A group of your fellow congregants, including me, helped to write a new covenant. We're going to share it with you before our annual meeting in June. Until then, I invite everyone to say together our current covenant. We covenant to build a religious community guided by respect and sustained by our principles. We will listen appreciatively, speak with care, express gratitude, honor our differences, and assume good intentions. We will communicate directly, honestly, and compassionately, particularly when we are in conflict. When we hurt one another, we will ask for forgiveness and make amends. And when we are hurt, we will try to forgive and reconnect in a spirit of right relationship. In celebration of the common mission that unites us, we will abide by this covenant. May we be transformed and enriched by every new member who joins this community.
My name is Tina Dio, and I'm on the ministerial staff here at Eugene, and I use she, her pronouns. And this is our meditation prayer time, and at any point during the service, you are always invited to go over to our tables over here, light a candle, write a prayer in a book, put a stone in water. And for those on Zoom, you can write your prayers and joys of sorrow in the Zoom chat, which will be open until the sermon time. So you can do that now if you'd like. And any time during the week, if you are in need of pastoral care, you can visit our website, and we have a pastoral care portal. You can contact our ministers there. You can contact our lay pastoral associates, and you can also contact our kindness team there. So let us enter into this meditation prayer time and get grounded with your body how you would like. And I am always reminded of the wise words that sometimes are attributed to St. Augustine, that when you sing, you pray twice. And so this is a prayer meditation for our children, our youth, all of our elders, ancestors. But I'm going to sing it in the words of a Whitney Houston song. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us who we used to be. And a blessing from Reverend Gary Kowalski, a UU minister. Children widen the circle of our being in ways that are limitless. Every baby that's born connects us to our history, our parents, our grandparents, and unknown forebears who brought new life to the world in each successive generation. Every baby that's born links us to the future, to a world yet to come that belongs to our descendants and that we hold in trust for our posterity, whom we will never know. Each child connects us to nature, to the innocence and exuberance of a world always hatching newborns, kittens and pups and lambs and chicks and babes. Each child reminds us of the kinship we share with the people of other lands and races who love their young as purely and tenderly as we do. Each child connects us to the universe, to the holy mysteries of birth and death and becoming from which we all emerge. Children widen the circle of our being in ways that are limitless. Let us remember as we pray and meditate today to live into the radical hope that children bring into our lives, and let us co-create a world of radical hope for our children and youth to live in as well. Let us all live into our curiosity and childlike wonder. May we, all children, youth, adults, elders, work together to co-create the beloved community and a better world for all. Amen, and may it be so. And let us sing together our centering song, number 388, Dona Nobis Pacem, Grant Us Peace, a song that was written during the World War times by Ralph Vaughan Williams. And we're going to sing it as a round. Is Joe helping us with this? Okay. I'm not doing it.
Catherine Smith, welcome. And Wendy Fuller, welcome. Jill Switzer, welcome. Ed Wolf, hello. And Pam Tinker, welcome to you. Bruce Tinker, welcome. And on Zoom is Don Bramley. What a wonderful, wonderful blessing it is to welcome new members. And as Steve said, to be open to being changed by them. Around the world, there are many, many ways to say hello, right? In Korea, for example, a common greeting is to ask, "Have you eaten yet? 밥 먹었어요?" Now, it's not a literal question. We really don't care if you've literally eaten that day or not, but it means, how are you? Are you okay? Are you doing all right? Right? Among the Massai people in Kenya, a traditional greeting is Kasserian Ingera, which means, "And how are the children?" No matter if you're a parent or not, the response is, "All the children are well." And that means life is good. We are grateful. The community is well. How are the children? And how are the children? How are the families? How is the community? How is Mother Earth? It's impossible to think about the well-being of one without the other. Our interconnections are inescapable, and the more we deny that, the more we are capable of harming one another. Years of pandemic stress have revealed the fragile state of our communities. Yet even in this environment, we see signs of life flourishing. Many of our children here at the UU Church in Eugene are very well. They are brilliant and funny. They are creative and free. In many ways, our children and our families are well because they are held in love, acceptance, and deep care by this spiritual community. At the same time, the earth, she is not well. Its creatures are not well. Here in the United States, half of all adult people suffer from chronic disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, autoimmune disease, cancer. And half of our adolescents fit the criteria for one or more mental health conditions. 3.5 million children now are receiving ADHD medicines, and about 500,000 children receive antipsychotic medicine for behavioral issues. Now, while the experts have a wide range of explanations and reasons to explain why this is happening, let me today just focus on 3. First, many of us are experiencing the effects of trauma and grief. Since we're not yet fully on the other side of the pandemic, it's going to take some time for us to really understand how this collective experience has really impacted us. Even without the pandemic, we are living with a lot of different kinds of grief. We're mourning the loss of an envisioned future, loss of a way of life, loss of what was supposed to be. Another cause for our collective dis-ease is our over-reliance on the material world and the illusion that shiny new things can help us to feel fulfilled. As more and more people turn away from organized and traditional religion, they are not always finding other spiritual paths. They're just taking the path to materialism. Instead, they're following their attention to be taken away by for-profit entities that spend all of their time trying to figure out how much more time that they can get us to spend online, and how much of our life energy they can get us to voluntarily give up. The third reason that so many of us are just not feeling very well is that we have forgotten our fundamental nature as earthlings, as humans, creatures of the humus, of the soil. We are hardwired for intimacy with nature, and when we are separated from that world, there is a disquiet in our souls, a sense of things being, I don't know, just not quite right. As a society, we have been cut off, or we have cut ourselves off from something that we desperately need, but we've lost track of as we go chasing after the American dream. We build highways over grasslands. We demand tomatoes and fresh strawberries in February. We build giant houses, not necessarily for the 4 people who live in them, but to store all of the things that we have accumulated over time. All the while, we have forgotten that we belong to one another. We belong to each other. We need each other. We forget the basic truth that my well-being is all tied up and wrapped up with your well-being, and that I cannot be free until you are living free. So, how are the children? We want every family in this community to be able to say, all the children are well. This is our dream and our vision, right? In our modern American culture, there is this strong desire to fix things and to problem solve. With this mindset, we can easily see persons as objects to be acted upon, and behaviors as issues to be dealt with. But there is another way. There's another way to perceive the world. The author Sean Ginwright suggests in his book called The 4 Pivots that there is a different way to make sustainable and systemic change. Ginwright writes about pivoting from fixing problems to creating possibilities. This is a pivot that moves us from focusing on things and issues and objects to the practice of beloved community, which focuses on relationship. This is what we're up to here at UUCE. Taking a page from his book, this wonderful staff here are turning away from the language of fixing and fighting and struggling and turning toward the language of imagining, designing, building, and creating. And so today, here's Mel Keller, one of our teachers, to first tell us a little bit about herself and then to tell us what she and her team have been dreaming up.
Hello, everyone. For those who I have not yet met, my name is Mel Keller, and I use she, her pronouns. I am part of the teaching staff here at UUCE. I have been here for just over a year, and I have had the honor of working with the elementary age students and our youth group, which runs from middle through high school. It was working with these teens that I saw the importance of talking about mental health, especially from a young age. I have been in therapy myself for nearly 7 years now, but it has only been within the past few years that I have truly felt like I am making progress with my care team. My therapists, yes, therapists plural, have helped me understand my past and build skills for the future that will keep me safe. Without going into too much detail, I work with my care team on a number of issues, including depression, PTSD, and disordered eating. Learning tangible skills through individual therapy has been a gift, and I'm constantly extolling the virtues of therapy to everyone I know. Last summer, I was in an intensive outpatient program, or IOP, which included 10 hours of group therapy per week, along with individual therapy and medication management. This more intensive program not only helped me to learn more about myself and my mental health, but it also introduced me to the joys and values of group therapy settings. Knowing that there were other people going through similar issues and being able to share coping strategies was extremely important to my well-being. I have seen the power of mental health support in my own life, and I can only imagine how much I would have appreciated it at a younger age. Middle and high school are emotionally fraught for most everyone, and I remember being 16 and not knowing how to cope with thoughts or feelings. On top of that, the youth in our community have had their world turned upside down by a global pandemic that is still impacting us to this day. The stress and tension have been building in all of us, and it's been compounded by the realities of being a teenager. These are the struggles that inspired us to create the Teen Support Space. The Teen Support Space is not a formal group therapy setting. I'm not a practicing therapist, and the goal is to create this space as a supplement to traditional talk therapy rather than a replacement. We want to create a space where youth in our community can ask for support, share successes, and create action plans to live more deeply. I will be facilitating this space along with Eileen Waters and Amani Den-Herder, both of whom bring knowledge, skills, and compassion to these spaces. We hope that the Team Support Space can be for youth to share their stories, experiences, and to learn from each other new ways of growing, coping, and thriving. The group will meet on Mondays from 6 to 7 p.m., and we will be separated by grade level. So middle schoolers will meet on the first and third Mondays, and high schoolers on the second and fourth Mondays. During our time together, we will talk about coping skills such as diffusion, self-soothing, and self-compassion, as well as exploring our values and creating space to live truthfully and with commitment. The group might develop into something else, but that will be directed by the participants. Whatever these groups choose to focus on will be guided by a covenant and our hope for creating a kinder, more compassionate world. I am sharing this today not only as an announcement for a fun new church activity, but also as a reminder of our commitment to young people as a congregation. Nurturing young people has always been a central focus of our work, and I am constantly inspired by the care and dedication youth bring to UUCE. I want to be able to give these incredible young people space to share and develop their own emotional toolkits to brave the big wide world that lies ahead. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me after the service or send me an email. And if you know a young person who might be interested, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
So within this beloved community, whose responsibility is it to tend to the future? Now, I'm glad you said that because I've heard some people say, well, the future belongs to the youth. But the job, of course, of repairing the world cannot be the sole work of the youth. The renowned mythologist Michael Meade reminds us that a culture renews itself from both the dreams of the young and the visions of the elders. In some traditional cultures, it was understood that the youth and elders were secretly connected by a deep, deep imagination that holds the past and the future together. I love that image. The survival of our entire community of our family of beings depends on this connection. The wild optimism of the young and the pragmatic wisdom of the elders. The shared imagination bringing the past and the future together. UUCE has just begun to create a truly multi-generational congregation that practices beloved community together. It's going to take a little while to build, and it's going to require some shifts in the way we've always done things. But we're well on our way, I think, with a great staff team and some really great ideas for the future. So I have 3 very specific things that you can do if you want to take part of this multicultural, multi-generational beloved community. First, come back at 1:30 today, elders, youth, everyone in between, so that we can go to the NAACP event. This is the last day of the Black History exhibit at the Lane County Historic Museum just down the street. Number 2, plan to attend the next Touchstone Tuesday potluck. You guessed it, it's on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. And finally, whenever you see a family fun night advertised in the weekly connections, please consider yourself part of the family and come and have some fun together. As long as life exists, there is always the possibility of healing and renewal. As long as there is breath, we can envision a world where all the children are well. And what that means is that all the families are well. And that means that the community of beings is well. And that means the earth itself is well. But we can't do this alone. We need every dream and outrageous imagination to take us to the places that rational, logical thinking will not. I need you. You need me. We're all a part of this body, and I need you to survive. May this be ever true. Blessed be. Amen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now, my friends, go forth into this day and into this fresh new week, remembering that we need each other, roots and wings, youth and elders, to realize our dreams of beloved community. Go in peace, my friends. Go in love.